My beloved, come close and listen with your soul, not just with your ears. For this message is not meant for the flesh. It is meant for the spirit. It is meant for the little boy, still hoping. It is meant for the weary girl, still dreaming. It is meant for the grown woman, the tired man, the restless child in us all who is ready to transform. I say to you, put salt in your shoes today. Yes, baby, you heard me right. Salt. That ancient, powerful mineral salt. The preserver, the purifier, the protector salt. The thing the earth cannot do without, and neither can your spirit. Now, why would I ask you to put salt in your shoes, child? Let me tell you something your soul may have known long ago, but your mind might have forgotten. A center salt is sacred. Exit is older than empires, older than pyramids, older than pride. Before gold was weighed, before kings wore crowns, salt was traded, valued, honored. People journeyed across deserts and braved wild seas to claim it. They didn't do that for something meaningless. Oh no, they did it because salt, pure and powerful, holds the secrets of life, death, and all that lies in between. When I say put salt in your shoes, I'm not just talking about some ritual. I'm talking about ours. Remembering your worth. I'm talking about preservation. I'm talking about power. I'm talking about walking in purpose that cannot be diluted by the bitter storms of this world. Salt, my dear, has a soul of its own. It preserves the meat so it won't spoil. It keeps things from rotting. It holds back decay. And when you walk with salt in your shoes, you are telling the world, I will not spoil. I will not rot. I will not fade away before my time. You are declaring to heaven and earth, and my purpose is preserved. My calling is safe. My journey is protected. Salt doesn't just keep, it heals. You ever had a wound and put salt water on it? Yes, it burns, but baby, it cleans us too. When life wounds you, and it will, when people cut you with their words, when rejection bruises your spirit, when betrayal leaves open wounds in your heart, you don't need bitterness. You need salt. You need healing. You need the strength to say, though I bleed, I will not break, though I cry. I will not collapse. I've got salt in my shoes, and I've got God in my bones. You see, sugar may look sweet, but it dissolves under pressure. Salt stays salt. Lingers salt marks its presence. When you walk through this life, you don't want to be sugar that melts. You want to be salt that remains salt, that seasons every space you enter. Salt that reminds every person who doubted you that you were always more than enough. I think about the mothers who wake up before the sun, praying over their children. I think about the fathers who work long hours just to put bread on the table. I think about the women who carry both grief and grace, like twin flames in their chest. And I tell them, you are salt. You are not forgotten. You are not wasted. You are not weak. You are the preservation of your people, the protector of your people, the protector of your peace, the seasoning of your home. Now, let's not forget salt adds flavor. Oh yes, where would we be without flavor? Flavor is what turns a meal into a memory. Flavor is what makes you want more. And baby, your life ought to have some flavor. Your soul should sing when you walk into a room. Your presence should awaken hope. Your spirit should make the tired rise up and say, something good is near. When I say, put salt in your shoes, I'm asking you to walk with a substance. Don't walk like you ain't been through nothing. Don't walk like your story is shallow. You've been through storms. You've been through shame. You've been through silence. And yet, here you are, still rising, still walking, still here. So don't let your walk be timid. Don't let your path be aimless. Sprinkle salt in your shoes and let your footsteps shake the ground. Let your faith make the earth. Remember your name. Let every step declare of, I am not invisible. I am invaluable. I am anointed and appointed, not by man, but by the divine breath of God. Salt teaches us another truth too. It is meant to be shared, not hoarded. A dish with too much salt becomes bitter, but with just enough, O child, it brings out the richness of the meal. So be careful not to let your purpose turn into pride. Be seasoned, not salty in the wrong sense. Let your wisdom lift, not wound. Let your words preserve, not poison. Salt is powerful, but power without love is just noise. And baby, we don't need more noise. We need nourishment. Sometimes you'll walk this world and feel like you are too much, too bold, too strong, too loud. But the truth is, this world has grown accustomed to blandness. It has learned to celebrate the mediocre and call it marvelous, but not you. Not you with salt in your shoes and truth in your mouth. You were not made to be mild. You were made to season, to challenge. Change, you were made to flavor the future with the lessons of the past and child. Let me tell you this. With love that wraps around your bones like sunlight on a winter day, you matter. Your walk matters. Your words matter. Your witness matters. You don't need anyone's permission to walk in purpose. You don't need the world's approval to carry your salt. The divine has already spoken. The Creator has already chosen you. The earth is waiting for your flavor. Heaven is watching your steps. And the ancestors are whispering. Baby, go ahead. Walk on. Keep stepping. You've got salt in your shoes and fire in your soul. So the next time you lace up your shoes, whether they're worn with pain or polished with pride, sprinkle a little salt inside. Pray over them. Bless them. Dedicate your walk to something higher than fear, higher than failure, higher than flesh. And then, my love, walk, walk, strong, walk, whole, walk worthy. Because when you walk with salt, you don't just move, you transform. You don't just travel, you testify. Let your steps speak of the salt that sustains you. Let your journey be seasoned with power, grace, and the glory of God. And don't ever forget, salt was always valuable, just like you. Come closer now. Sugar, sit down, take off the weight of this world and lean in real good. I want to tell you something that might just change the way you move through this life, you see. Too many of us are walking without meaning. Too many are dancing in circles, running in place, chasing shadows, and wondering why we feel lost, tired, and But the answer is simple and surer. We are moving without you intention. We are taking steps, but we are not walking on purpose. When I say put salt in your shoes, I'm not just speaking of the physical. No, baby. I'm speaking of the ECU sacred. I'm saying that every step you take should be blessed, intentional, anointed. I'm telling you that the journey you're on, this daily, sometimes dull, sometimes dazzling journey, is holy, and it ought to be walked like you know it. You see, when you wake up in the morning, your feet hit the ground, and without even thinking, you begin to move. Do you ever stop to ask yourself where you're going, why you're going there, and what you're carrying with you as you go? Too often, we move because the clock tells us to. We hustle because the world demanded. We strive because someone told us our worth was tied to our business. But let me be the first to remind y'all, you were never meant to be a machine. You are not a cog in someone else's wheel. You are a soul in motion, a story unfolding, a purpose waiting to be lived out step by step. So I say again, put salt in your shoes. That salt, child, is your well-intentioned. It's your why. It's your divine declaration that says, I will not take one more step in vain. I will not walk like a wanderer with no home. I will walk with meaning. I will walk with God. Salt in your shoes means you're done with blind living. You're done letting people put you left and right, up and down, with no regard for your spirit. It means you've decided once and for all to walk your own. Walk on your own path with your own divine rhythm. Let me tell you a little secret that ain't so secret. To those who've lived long and loved hard, every step you take is planting something. Yes, Lord. Every step is either planting pain or planting purpose. And if you don't put salt in your shoes, you might just find yourself sowing bitterness into the soil of your life. That salt, that precious salt, it sanctifies the journey. It says, I will not step into any room where I must shrink to be accepted. It says, I will not walk toward anything that dishonors my peace, my power, or my promise. It whispers gently but firmly. I know who I am, I know where I'm going, and I know who's walking with me. Oh child, we need more people who walk like they mean it. People who walk into rooms and shift the energy, not with noise or ego, but with quiet confidence. People who walk into storms and remain calm because they've been salted with faith. People who walk beside others and lift them simply by being present. That's the kind of walking I'm talking about. Not aimless, but sacred. See, we've got folks out here dancing for applause, running for approval, moving so fast they leave their own soul behind. But when you've got salt in your shoes, you don't move for show. You move for growth. You don't chase crowds, you follow calling. You don't rush to fit in. You rise to stand out. Salt in your shoes means that even your silence speaks. Even your stillness has meaning. You don't need to shout to be seen. You don't need to strive to be valuable. You don't need to impress to be blessed, baby. When you walk with salt, your presence is your power. Your walk is your witness. You might be thinking, but Maya, I've made so many wrong steps. I've wandered too far. I've wasted too much time. Let me stop you right there. There is no such thing as being too far gone for God. There is no path so crooked that love cannot straighten it. There is no detour so long that purpose cannot redeem it. If you can still breathe, baby, you can still walk. And if you can still walk, you can still win. But you must choose today to walk with, intention. That means walking with your eyes open and your heart alive. That means walking like every moment matters, because it does. It means waking up and saying, this is the day the Lord has made, and I will walk in it with joy, with purpose, and with salt in my shoes. Do you know what happens when you start walking like that? Doors open, chains break, clarity comes, the fog lifts. People who couldn't see your values suddenly see your vision. Why? Because you're not wandering anymore. You are walking in purpose. You are walking more on purpose. And purpose is powerful. It is magnetic. It is unmistakable. You will feel it too. Your steps will feel, your choices will feel clearer. The noise of the world will begin to fade, and the voice of God will grow louder in your spirit. You'll start to recognize what is for you and what never was. You'll start to walk away from cows and walk toward peace. But let me give you this last truth, sugar. And don't you forget, I chew. Walking with intention doesn't mean the road will be easy. It doesn't mean the rain won't fall. It doesn't mean folks won't try to stop you. But what it does mean is that your walk will be worth it. It means that even when the world tries to trip you up, you'll rise, dust off your shoes, and keep on walking. Because you know every step is carrying you closer to your calling. So go ahead now, sprinkle that salt, lace up your shoes with faith, anoint your walk with love, and put purpose under your feet. Walk with intention, walk with vision, walk like someone who knows they are walking with God. And every now and then, look back, not in regret, but in reverence. See how far you've come. See the footprints and the dust behind you. See how the salt has preserved your path, purified your pain, and pointed you toward your promise. Keep walking, my love, with salt in your shoes and the divine in your stride, child. Let me lean in close and tell you something your soul might have been longing to hear. You see, this life, this beautiful, broken, blessed life is full of choices. Every day you rise up out of bed and step out into the world. You are choosing what kind of energy you bring, what kind of spirit you hold, and what kind of voice you carry into every space you enter. And if you're wise, if you're wary of wandering, then you'll choose to walk in faith, not fear. Now, faith, my dear, ain't always loud. It doesn't always come with thunder, claps, and flashing lights. Sometimes it comes in a whisper, in a trembling hand, still reaching for heaven in a quiet voice, still praying when everything around it says, give up. Faith, real faith, isn't about pretending that pain doesn't exist. It's about trusting deep down in your bones that even in pain, there is a promise. Even in struggle, there is a savior. Fear, on the other hand, is a liar. It's a thief. It's that shadow creeping behind you, telling you're not enough, not smart enough, not strong enough, not worthy. It feeds on your doubt and drinks from your despair. And if you let it, fear will chain your feet to the past and rob you of every step forward. It will silence your dreams before they even find their voice. But you, sweet soul, were not made for fear. No, you were made to walk boldly, to walk, divinely to walk, or covered in the grace of the Almighty. You were made to put one in front of the other. Even when the road is uncertain, even when the map is torn, even when the light is dim and the night is long, you were made to walk in you faith. And not just any faith, but the kind that knows your footsteps are ordered, your tears are counted, and your journey is holy. Let me tell you, walking in faith is not the absence of fear. It's your refusal to be ruled by it. It's waking up and saying, fear, I see you, but you will not sit at my table today. You will not ride in my car. You will not hold the pen. As I write the story of my life, faith says, I am afraid, yes, but I will still move forward. I will still believe. I will still build love. Still hope. There is power, baby, in walking like you know who walks with you. You may not see the whole staircase, but faith says take the first step. You may not know where the money will come from, where the healing will rise, where the peace will settle, but faith says keep walking, keep trusting, keep speaking life over yourself when all the world around you speaks death. When you walk in faith, you don't just change how your life, you change the atmosphere around you. People feel it, they sense it. They see something different in the way you carry yourself. Your head held high, not out of arrogance, but out of assurance. Your steps firm, not because life's been easy, but because God's been faithful. I've lived long enough to know this. Truthing storms will come, oh child. They will come like an uninvited guest bursting through your front door and rattling the windows of your peace. But let me remind Yag, even in the storm, your footing can be firm if it's grounded in faith. Says, "This storm will not swallow me." Faith says, "The waves may rise, but my God walks on water." Faith says, "I don't need to have all the answers, because I serve the one who is the answer, and what a gift it is to walk in that kind of knowing." Hold your head up, not because the world gave you permission, but because the Spirit within you commands it to speak truth over your life when all you've known is lies. To walk with a limp from the battles you've survived and still call it great. Now, let me tell you something else. Sugar, fear, often comes dressed in fine clothes. It comes as procrastination, as people-pleasing. It whispers, "Wait a little longer." It says, "You're not ready yet." But faith rolls up its sleeves and says, "Let's go. Anyway, we've waited long enough." When you walk in faith, you begin to see that failure is not your enemy. It's your teacher. It's not a stop sign, it's a stepping stone. Fear wants you to think that falling means you're finished. But faith knows that every fall is just a new way to rise. And baby, let me tell you, you will rise. Oh yes, you will. You will rise from brokenness. You will rise from heart hatch. You'll rise from fierce, cruel grip. You'll rise into the fullness of who God called you to be. Because walking in faith doesn't mean you never fall. It means you don't stay down. It means you get back up and dust off your knees and say, "God, if you got me up again, then I'll keep walking." So many people are waiting to feel ready, to feel strong, to feel sure. But faith doesn't wait on a feeling. Faith moves. It moves in spite of the fear, in spite of the doubt, in spite of what others say. And when you move in faith, even the smallest step becomes sacred. I want you to understand something. Walking in faith is not just about trusting God for something. It's about trusting God. You in everything, in the waiting, in the wandering faith is not only for the mountaintop moments, it is for the valley days, the dry seasons, the silent nights, when heaven feels far and hope feels faint, and yet you keep walking. That, my love, is power. That is beauty. That is strength beyond muscles and might. That is soul-deep courage. That is walking with salt in your shoes and faith in your bones. So today, I want you to choose it. Choose faith, not because it's easy, not because it always makes sense, but because your future is too precious to be handed over to fear. Hold your head up, baby. Square your shoulders, plant your feet, and say, with all the boldness of heaven behind you, I will not fear. I will walk by faith. My story is not over. My God is not finished, and I am still becoming. You. Now go on, walk, talk true, walk in our faith, and don't you dare look back, child. Come sit with me a moment. Let me wrap you in some holy truth. You've been carrying too much in your spirit. Your back's been bending, your smile's been hiding, and your peace, your peace, has been whispering that it's ready to come home. You see, one of the greatest lessons a soul can learn is this: release. What's weighing you down? You can't fly while you're chained to burdens that were never meant for you to carry. You can't dance when your heart is tangled in bitterness. You can't grow when your hands are too full of what no longer serves your becoming. Now, I know releasing ain't easy. We like to hold on. We hold on to pain like it owes us something. We hold on to memories that cut deeper than any knife. We hold on to the people who hurt us, thinking if we just love them hard enough, they'll change. We even hold on to shame like it's a birthright, wearing it like a second skin. But let me tell you the truth, sweet soul. Everything you carry affects the way you move. The weight on your heart shows up in your posture, in your pace, in your prayers. And when your spirit is heavy, you begin to walk like you're already defeated, even when victory is yours by divine inheritance. Sometimes we need to pause, not to quit, but to atiate. We must peel off those layers that do nothing but rob us of our breath. That old grudge you've kept warm in your chest, let it go. That toxic relationship you keep making excuses for, let it go. That guilt that creeps up in the middle of the night, whispering, "You're not enough, baby," let it go. That voice in your head echoing the lies someone else put there, you let that go too. You don't owe anyone your ruin. You don't owe your past your presence. And you surely don't owe your trauma your future. It is a holy act to release, to stand still in the middle of your own storm and say, "This thing will not come with me into tomorrow." You are not weak for laying down what's been breaking you. You are not broken for saying no more. In fact, you are mighty in your decision to unshackle yourself. You see, letting go is not forgetting. No, we remember, but we choose not to rely. We honor the lesson, but we don't drag the pain. We carry the wisdom, but we don't keep the wound open. You must learn to say, "I can love you and still leave. I can forgive you and still heal away from you. I can bless you and still build far beyond your reach." Releasing is holy business. Even the trees understand this. Every autumn they release their leaves, not because they are dying, but because they are preparing for new life. And you, my dear, are no different. What you release today makes space for what will bloom tomorrow. Some blessings are waiting for you. On the other side of surrender, so many of us are tired, not from working hard, but from carrying pain, carrying rejection, carrying fear that started in childhood and never got a name, carrying words that were spoken over us when we were too young to defend ourselves. We drag these burdens into every relationship, every dream, every sacred space, and we wonder why joy feels so far away. Hear me now. It's time to lighten your load. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need to prove your worth to someone who couldn't see your value. You don't need to explain why you chose peace over chaos. God has already seen your tears. Heaven already knows your heart. There is a power in you that fear cannot hold. There is a light in you that shame cannot dim. But for that light to shine, you've got to remove the covering. And here's something else you need to understand. Not everyone can go where God is taking you. Some people were only meant to walk with you to the gate, not through it. Don't mourn their absence when their purpose in your life was already complete. Release them with grace. Let go with gratitude. Wish them well and walk forward. And let's talk about self-forgiveness, because Lord knows we are often our harshest critics. We replay our mistakes like broken records. We say things to ourselves that we'd never say to another human being, and we carry regret like it's the only truth we know. But baby, listen to me. Good. And you are allowed to be human. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to rise from your own ashes. You are allowed to say, "That was me then, but I am not that anymore." Release that guilt. It served its time. Release that shame. It did its damage, but it does not get the final word. Release the belief that you must be perfect to be loved. You are loved, and now in your mess, in your mending, in your becoming, letting go is not a weakness. It is a declaration of your worth. It is you saying, "I choose my future over my fear. I choose my joy over my judgment. I choose my peace over my pain." And when you do that, when you start releasing, truly releasing, watch what happens. Your steps get lighter. Your smile comes easier, your prayers deepen, your soul exhales. You begin to hear God clearer. You begin to move with purpose. You begin to trust again, not just in others, but in yourself. You start to understand that the salt you placed in your shoes wasn't just about cleansing your path. It was about who claiming it. It was about saying, I will walk forward unburdened. I will not drag old chains into new blessings. You are not meant to stay stuck in yesterday's pain. You were meant to soar. So today I ask you, with love and with power, what must you release? What are you holding that is holding you back? What burdens are too heavy for this next chapter? Name them, face them, and then, with all the dignity and divinity in your being, let them go. You are not what hurt you. You are what you rise from. And baby, you are rising. There comes a time in every life when we must step out of the shadows of hesitation and into the light of faith. We've stirred the salt in our shoes. We've cleaned our path. We've laid down the burdens that once threatened to break our backs. But now, oh yes, now it's time to walk. Not tiptoe, not shuffle, but walk boldly. Walk forward. Walk with purpose in every step and power in every stride, for the transformation is not complete until you move in the direction of your destiny. So many of us have prayed the prayers. We've wept on the altar of hope. We've asked God to show us, to guide us, to speak to us. And the truth is, baby, sometimes God's answer isn't in the whisper or the wind. It's in the walking. It's in you stepping forward even when you can't see the whole staircase. Faith, after all, was never meant to be a map with every turn spelled out. Faith is a flame that says, even in the dark, I believe there's light. You've got to move. Move even when your knees shake. Move even when the voices of doubt sit heavy in your ear, like a bad song on repeat. Move even when yesterday's pain taps you on the shoulder, picking you to look back. You hear me, child. Don't look back. There's nothing behind you worth more than what's ahead of you. The Red Sea didn't part until Moses stepped forward. The walls of Jericho didn't fall until the people marched. Lazarus didn't walk out of the grave until Jesus said, "Come forth." And that same voice, oh, that same divine voice is calling you. Now calling you out of fear, out of comfort, out of excuses, into the life you were always meant to live. See, there are blessings with your name on them waiting down the road, but they don't travel. They don't come to those standing still. They wait for the brave. They wait for the ones who choose obedience over understanding. They wait for the ones who say, God, I don't know what's next, but I trust who you are. Do you know who you are? You are the child of a mighty creator, formed in majesty and wrapped in glory. There is no ordinary dust in your bones. You come from a long line of overcomers. Ancestors who prayed you into existence, who fought battles you'll never see, who dreamed dreams with your name etched in the star. So walk, baby, walk, with their courage. Walk with your head high and your back straight, knowing that heaven walks with you. You see, when you walk in faith, the ground beneath your feet shifts. Opportunities open. People notice. The universe responds, because you are no longer walking like a beggar. You are walking like in here. You are no longer asking for permission. You are stepping into your promise. But let me say this plainly. Don't expect everyone to understand your walk. Some folks will ask why you're moving different. Some will wonder why you've changed. Some will try to hold you back, because your boldness makes them uncomfortable. Watch. Let them doubt. Let them talk. Because the ones who are assigned to your destiny will never need to be convinced of your light. They'll recognize it from the moment you arrive. Every step you take in faith is a sermon. Every move you make with intention is a praise, and every time you refuse to shrink, you declare to the world, I am worthy. I am called. I am becoming who God says I am. Now, I won't lie to you. The walk won't always be easy. There will be valleys and dry places. There will be days when your shoes feel too tight and the road feels too long. But don't you stop. Don't you dare stop. Because the moment you stop is the moment you risk missing what you've been praying for. That open door that answered prayer, that divine connection, it's all waiting a few steps ahead. You've got to move with vision. Move like you believe. What you've been asking for is already on the way. I speak with the authority of someone who knows they're backed by heaven. Work like the breakthrough is already done. Praise like the chains are already broken. Love like the healing has already happened. Because faith is not just what you believe, it's how you believe. It's how you walk. When I say walk in faith, I don't mean without fear. Fear may still whisper, doubt may still knock, but you move anyway. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move in spite of it. And baby, every time you move in faith, you teach your fear how small it really is. So, start that business. Apply for that job. Write that book. Forgive that person. Pack that bag. Take that trip. Begin again. Say yes to the thing that won't let you sleep at night. Say no to the thing that's been draining your spirit. You do what you know God has been nudging you to do. There is a strength in you that has been waiting to rise. There is a gift in you that the world has yet to see, but it can only be unlocked through movement, through action, through the simple, powerful decision to keep going. So put on your shoes, the ones you've salted with prayer, with wisdom, with hope, and take that first step, and then the next, and then the next, one foot in front of the other. You will find that the path clears, the light returns, and the miracles unfold. And when you look back, you'll see that every step mattered, every tear watered your purpose. Every scar became a map, and every time you almost gave up, but didn't you move closer to the divine plan for your life? So walk, child, walk like the earth knows your name. Walk like the heavens are watching. Walk like you are the miracle you've been waiting on, because you are, and the world is ready.